So just 6 days after his loss to Alex Pereira in the main event of UFC 300, Jamahal Hill has signed an official fight which will be taking place at UFC 303 at the end of June. I believe it's June the 29th, which now gives him 3 months to prepare for a dangerous contender in Khalil Rountree that I do believe he'll beat. There's many reasons to be worried about this turnaround for Jamahal Hill. Is his chin going to be the same? All of these questions are going to come up for sure, and we're going to go through that today as well. But I like this quick turnaround for Jamahal Hill for other reasons that I'm going to discuss in this video. I want to go through Khalil Rountree as an opponent, something I also want to do. I also want to show you, there's been people making a lot of excuses for Jamahal Hill against Alex Pereira. Not Jamahal Hill, by the way. Also not the Weasel. This is just the only example I could find. There was a lot more once the fight actually happened. On the night of the fight, there were a lot of people saying, can we talk about this dirty move from Alex Pereira with the foot stomp that he did to keep Jamahal Hill where he was and knock him down? The Weasel did not say anything bad about this. This is just a good picture example of it. I also want to show you, listen, Chael Sonnen's been coping about this. Daniel Cormier said one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life about Jamahal Hill's fight with Alex Pereira. So there's a lot to discuss in the aftermath here. I'm not just going to go through, the matchup of Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree. I'm going to talk about, there's a lot of coping being done, and I know why they're coping. Your little wrestling game is being eradicated. Eradicated at light heavyweight. Cope harder. Cope harder. Kickboxers for the fucking win. How did Aljo not beat O'Malley? Because kickboxers fucking rule. Little wrestlers can't take it. They can't take it anymore. They can't take seeing a brother win without using their Lord and Holy wrestling. Oh no, not our poor. You won without using our holy wrestling techniques. Oh no. They don't like it. Okay? But we're going to talk about this matchup first. So, let's look at some of the comments here. Let's go through some of them. This is too soon for Jamal, bro. The top comment. 4,000 likes. Hill's gangster for taking this fight. So he's going to get a mixture of results here. He's going to get the, you're a loser for this. Not loser. I don't know why I said loser. I didn't mean that. I don't know. No one's calling him a loser for this. You're going to get this is too soon. You're going to lose because of this. Is probably what I meant to say there. I got Hill. Too many people forget how good he really is. And I've seen a lot of these. Such a violent fight a couple of months after being put to sleep is nasty work. Respect Hill for this, but we bet in Rountree by KO. Says who? Who's we, bro? Jamahal Hill really said, hold my beer and watch this. Huge respect. Shout out Full Send MMA. 2 words, pure violence. And then an image of another fight at the bottom as well. I don't know who that is. John Cena, by the looks of things. It's looking like a real Latino looking John Cena. Why is he looking so tanned? Either way, the comments are mixed. Some of them don't like that he's turning around too fast. Some of them like the fact that he is turning around this fast. And I'll be honest with you, this is good for Jamahal Hill. For his mentality, this is good. For his physicality, this is good. For his chin, we don't know. Because the verdict is still out on if chins do need a long time to recover after being KO'd. Because we heard a lot. Joe Rogan spearheaded the movement of don't cut as much weight, have a better chin, and, this and that, and you should fight at your natural weight class. Joe Rogan has a lot of dumb, lame, no evidence-based takes on things. Do you need to be in shape? When Ruiz beat Joshua, exceptions don't disprove the rule. But with chins, normally, I will admit here, when you do make a quick turnaround after being KO'd, you fight less confident. You're a bit more jittery, you're a bit more panicky and reactionary, and that leads to more KO losses. Plus, you do need time to recover. You know what I mean? Especially if you're trying to move down a weight class like Volk was doing after Makhachev. That's the worst way you can go about losing by TKO. Resuming to the same weight class is tough as well, but Jamahal Hill, not the biggest of light heavyweights. If anything, this next weight cut's going to be easier for him because he's staying in shape, staying in camp. So I think this is good for Jamahal Hill. The chin is a worry, though. Khalil Rountree, powerful guy. Not one-punch knockout power guaranteed, but he has the power to put you away. I don't know if he's going to happen here to Jamahal Hill. I think Jamahal Hill wins this fight. And let's talk about the positives to this quick turnaround that he's made. Jamahal Hill had been out for a long time. Most likely, you know, all of the bravado that he was putting on in the build-up, not putting on, but he was living it up, you know what I mean? He was turning it to 100, let's just say. He's promoting the fight, hyping himself up. He'd been out for a long time with an injury, a bad injury, okay? I think he was doing that to lock himself in. Like, I can't be out there thinking, you know, any old thought. I need to have a killer's mindset in this fight from the get-go, or it could backfire on me if I don't. It ended up backfiring anyway, and the reason for that, I guess we'll get to in a minute, because DC said maybe the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. But I like this turnaround for Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill, if he didn't make this turnaround, the only thing being discussed about Jamahal Hill over the next few weeks, I think it would probably be, or the next few months, would have been, oh, your loss to Pereira, how was it? How's that loss to Pereira? How's that loss to Pereira? Another Twitter meme. I've seen Twitter going off on Jamahal Hill because he dared to try and hype the fight up. How dare he, right? But yeah, I've seen a lot of Twitter memes, little edits, TikTok edits, Instagram pages posting memes about the KO and putting clips of things Jamahal Hill said beforehand. You know how it is when trash talking goes wrong. It's the natural thing that every internet platform does en masse whenever a fighter talks a bunch and then loses. They've been going at Jamahal Hill. This ends the discussion of Jamahal Hill being memed dead. I know people may still do it, but this is now a new conversation with Jamahal Hill and a new dialogue option around Jamahal Hill, or a new monologue option, should I say, when it comes to talking about Jamahal Hill. As soon as he announces this, listen, it's in 12 weeks, longer than that. When is it? End of April, end of May, end of... Hold on a second here. It's in 2.5 months. 2 months and a week's time. Hold on. Okay, that's very short time, actually. Okay. It's risky, but hear me out, guys. Okay, I still have my take here. Holy moly, that is, yeah. Wow, I forgot we're already coming to the end of April. We're going to die soon. I'm 25, Jesus Christ. Either way, Jamahal Hill. What was I about to say about this guy? Dude, that's a quick turnaround, dude. I've only just put that into perspective. Tomorrow, he'll be, 9 weeks out from the fight? I like it, though. And there's reasons why I like it. Obviously, an extra couple weeks ain't going to change much. I do worry about his chin. But he wasn't out cold, seizing up on the ground like Bryce Mitchell against Josh Emmett. Or they weren't, getting the Octagon interview done of Alex Pereira, and then they're still trying to resuscitate Jamahal Hill. Or Jamahal Hill has to be taken out on a stretcher. In the middle of Pereira's celebration, Jamahal Hill was up and recovered. So it's not one of those KOs where he's not responding, his whole body's gone into shutdown. He got dropped badly, got rocked, didn't know where he was, got put out by hammer fists, and then popped back up because he recovered. You know what I mean? If he would have survived somehow after that, like if the same interaction happened, but Jamahal Hill just worked his way back up, he wouldn't have done. But if he did, we would no longer be talking about, this is too quick of a turnaround. We don't do that. We only do that because the result was called a loss. It is worrying for his chin, but physicality-wise for Jamahal Hill, I've rambled so much. That re-acknowledgement of the date has really thrown me off a bit here. But his physicality, I think, is going to be better than ever. We've always seen Jamahal Hill. He's not in good shape. Oh, my God, that's his shape that he's in. Even if Jamahal Hill is in shape for fights, even with a bit of a belly, he can still go 5 hard rounds with Glover Teixeira. There's always an argument of he's not in shape. He's got to use his training camp to get himself in shape. Dude, Jamahal Hill's in shape. Right now. He's in shape. He probably ate a little bit after the fight. A little bit of belly weight back on. But he's in shape. He's not going to have to spend a training camp getting in shape for a fight. He's going to be in reasonably good shape to go hard for 5 rounds. Or 3 rounds, which you'll now need. And he's starting a training camp to resume business as normal, pretty much. Get him right back in there. Probably going to start hard sparring in a few weeks' time. Maybe a month. Who knows how long he wants to leave it. But I like this for him. I do like this for him. I think I like the quick turn. I like the fact that he's doing this. Now he's going to be locked in. He's got people to prove wrong. He's just a bit embarrassed. The worry of that in his career, I think, is now going to be... There's always a worry, obviously. What if it does go wrong? It's gone wrong. And Jamahal Hill says, fuck it. I'm jumping right back in there against a dangerous guy in Khalil Rountree. I like this. This is better than like Dominic Reyes waiting 9 months to return and then just getting KO'd by a jab from Ryan Spann. And he's out for another year. And now he's been out for how long? A year and a half, maybe. What if he comes back and just gets KO'd by Azamat Murzakanov or something? Like, the KO could happen. Find out sooner than later because you ain't got a long career, you know? He's already at the top. It's only going to be big fights for Jamahal Hill from here on out. And to be fair, this might be better than making your return in 7 months. All your confidence knocked because people have been trashing you for 6 months and you ain't changed the narrative in the media. And you got to come back against Ankalaev or Yuri or, you know, even Rakic. I mean, Rountree is not top level at light heavyweight. That's another thing I want to talk about here, which is why I'm going to go Jamahal Hill by winning by, I think, TKO. This is the record of Khalil Rountree Jr. How many people are going to have to beat the shit out of Anthony Smith for us to consider that not a great win? Because everyone's beat the shit out of Smith. Everyone has beat the shit out of Anthony Smith. How many people have got to do it to where we're like, yeah, that don't mean much anymore? Like, I'm not sold on someone because they beat Anthony fucking Smith. No offense to Anthony Smith. Full offense. I don't know. I mean, I can't say it without offense. That don't sell. There's 18 people who have done it. I mean, you're looking at it right here. There's 18 of them. Welcome to the club. Many people have beat up Anthony Smith. You can't compare how someone looks against John Jones at light heavyweight under USADA compared with how they will do against the rest of the light heavyweights. Smith went 5 rounds with Jones. You look back and you think, how the fuck did Jones not finish him? Jones is terrible at finishing at light heavyweight unless Garn is paid to take a dive to making Garnu look bad. You look at other performances. Thiago Santos goes to a split decision with John Jones on one leg. Oh my God, Santos is going to destroy the rest of the light heavyweights. Lost to Glover, lost to Hill, lost to this other guy. You know what I mean? Lost at PFL. Like, it don't mean shit how good you look against Jones. Dominic Reyes beat the shit out of John Jones. He's going to dominate light heavyweight after this. No. They all just beat the shit out of him, one by one, putting him away in a row, and now he's gone. You know what I mean? Now he's looking to re-scramble for somewhat of a career at the bottom of the rankings. Like, you can't compare performances against John Jones to how good someone is as a light heavyweight, in my honest opinion, especially during that second era he had at light heavyweight, which is crazy to say. But other than that, you know, you got Anthony Smith. And by the way, Smith stepped up on short notice for that fight. You know, he's supposed to fight Azamat Murzakanov, as you can see here. Stepped up on a few weeks' notice. He's dumb. On paper, he thinks he beats everyone. He has no logical understanding of his own potential. So he chucks himself in there and loses. Makes a paycheck. Good for him. Chris Daukaus before that. We all know people like Khalil Rountree have that BLM bonus against the officer Daukaus. You know what I'm saying? Because it happens. This guy just gets KO'd by them. Okay? What I'm going to say. Welcome to the club, Khalil Rountree. KOing Chris Daukaus in a round? Welcome to the club of people that can beat the fuck out of Chris Daukaus. There's plenty in MMA. Jacoby got robbed against him and should have beat him in that fight. I swear to God, he got robbed by Khalil Rountree. Watch back the fight. He clearly won 2 of those rounds. Roberson. Are we rating a Roberson win? Are we rating a Modestas Bukauskas win? Are we? These are happening in the 2nd round. 3rd round against Smith. He ain't putting Jamahal Hill away early. And if you don't, I can see Jamahal Hill building into this fight. And then maybe having a Prachnio-esque win. Where Prachnio, although people cried robbery because, I like Khalil. He cried about being fat once on JRE. I like him. And all that. And everyone loved Khalil Rountree. Prachnio won the fight very clearly. Outpointed Khalil Rountree very clearly over 3 rounds. I think Jamahal Hill's got a ton of potential to win this fight. If he gets put as an underdog, I'm 100% picking him. I think it's a very close fight, and Khalil does have the potential to win. He does. But I like this for Jamahal Hill, and I like that it's on the McGregor card. That's huge. UFC 303, Conor McGregor. McGregor may never fight again if he loses this one. You never know when you're going to have that spotlight again. And I'd argue that if it wasn't the McGregor card, we probably wouldn't be seeing Jamahal Hill return this soon. That might be a part of it. Get rid of the whole narrative of Pereira beating you. get right back in there, get a big win, and all of a sudden, it's the Yuri situation. You know, Yuri was kind of being mocked before UFC 300. You know what I mean? Like his training styles. There were still people in support of his autism. I understand that. But there were a lot of people discounting him as an opponent. God, he doesn't do things technically anymore. And all these things to say about Yuri after he lost to Alex Pereira. And then boom, Yuri's back. And all of a sudden, the narrative completely shifts. Completely shifts about Yuri's performance against Alex Pereira. Jamahal Hill understands that. Get back in there and win. And people will switch their narrative real soon. And he's on a McGregor card. Against Rountree is a big matchup. He can get a ton of exposure for it. Chael Sonnen's been coping about his loss. Disastrous. Coping about it, saying, you know, he lost focus. I think Jamahal Hill lost focus. Too bad. Like, that's my take. And I'm sure Jamahal Hill hasn't made any excuses yet. This is the annoying thing. Jamahal Hill, you know, he said, you know, rough night, wasn't my night. The regular things that fighters say. But, like, Jamahal Hill ain't making excuses. Everyone's making them for him. And they're making, like, Jamahal Hill get heat. When it's like, no, shut up, dude. Jamahal Hill's taken the loss. Well, immediately signed a fight against a dangerous contender, got right back in there on a quick turnaround. You couldn't have handled a loss better than what Jamahal Hill's doing right now. But we got Chael Sonnen coping for him. In this video somewhere, I just can't go through it. Sorry, Chael gets a bit wordy. I like Chael, but he does ramble and it's hard to find the point in his videos. And then there's this from DC that I wanted to go through at the end here. Let it play. Oh, wait, I don't have like a producer or anything. I've got a click play. What am I talking about? Let it play. Come on, director, let it play. All right, I'll do it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Why is more not being made of that though? Like, look, we have seen this. Look, I love Herb Dean. I think he's the best in the business. But we have seen this, right? You remember one time Cain Velasquez was beating on Junior Dos Santos. Herb went in there and touched Cain and then backed up. Cain was like finishing him. He thought Junior was done, but Junior wasn't done. He touched him. He backed up. There's been many instances where officials kind of get themselves involved and then they kind of change their mind.
Well,
they're all human.
They're all...
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Jamahal Hill disowned DC. He's the one who caused your fucking Achilles tendon injury. This man is no good for you, mate. Okay? Dumbest shit I've ever heard. Yes, the official stepped in because audibly he heard a groin shot and you did catch Pereira on the top. I'm talking to Hill here. You caught Pereira on the top of the groin area. Was it a devastating groin shot? No, but it was enough to where a referee is obligated to step in. DC is bringing up an example here of JDS versus Cain Velasquez where Herb Dean like preemptively got a little bit antsy on a finishing sequence. So he wanted to step in, but he thought, no, I won't. Oh, I accidentally touched him. And he hesitated. And it kind of messed up the flow of the fight. There's no reason for Herb Dean to... That's a full mistake from Herb Dean. This is not a mistake from Herb Dean. This is not the referee ruining the result of the fight. Alex Pereira got hit in the groin. We all heard the noise of the cup, including Herb Dean. Even Jamahal Hill acknowledged, my bad, I just hit you on the groin. Looked over at the ref. Pereira stops the ref. That's all within Pereira's right. That nothing has been done wrong. I am absolutely in agreement. I even sent Jamahal Hill a message saying this. Looks like that groin shot situation took you out of focus for a bit. You were looking pretty clean for a guy who'd been out for so long before then. And I do agree. Does it mean it changed the entire outcome of the fight? No. Does it mean that is likely why the KO happened when it did? Definitely an argument. But the problem is, oh well, that's the take you have to have on it, right? That's the take Jamahal Hill seems to have. Oh well, put me in there against Rountree. Who gives a fuck? I ain't going to sit here making excuses about it. That's the mindset you got to have. Oh fucking well. Herb Dean was within his right. Pereira was within his right. Nothing unfair was done to Jamahal Hill. He's the one who groin shotted Pereira. So, oh well. Like, it feels like DC is trying to assign blame. And Chael was trying to assign blame. And this person's at fault for Jamahal Hill's loss. No one is at fault but Jamahal Hill. No one's at fault but Jamahal Hill. If he lost focus, well, that's on you. You lost focus, you got KO'd. He also threw first against Pereira. When I first saw it, I was like, damn, he looked like he really switched off there. But he threw a straight left before Pereira threw his left hook. Did he all of a sudden lose the thought of, okay, outside foot positioning? Did he lose that? Maybe. But it's the game. Game's the game. That shit's going to happen. You know what I mean? And there's no blame to be had. So to use this as, we need to talk about this more. This is a problem with Herb Dean and the officials. There's no problem. Herb Dean did his job perfectly. Tried to step in. Pereira went, no, I'm good. Okay, continue. And then a KO happened. That's not on Herb Dean at all.
We're not being made of that, especially when it. And guys, I like Alex Pereira. I think his story is tremendous. I think this man is the guy. But why is more not being made, Ben, about the fact that 5 seconds later, Ben?
I don't see the issue here. I mean,
but Jamal,
based Ben Askren, dude, no issue whatsoever.
Made, Ben, about the fact that 5 seconds later, Ben.
I don't see the issue here. I mean,
but Jamal, so Jamal thinks, and again, he's working through losing the fight and everything else.
Yeah.
But when I rewatched and Southpaw Conventional, it's very important that the foot, right?
It stays on the outside.
Always.
Yes.
For the most part, Jamal was controlling the outside with his foot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When they broke, Alex took position.
Yes.
When you rewatch it, left hand lands, knocks him down, Ben. So, I mean, I'm not trying to play conspiracy theory here.
Dude, you haven't rumbled the secrets of government information here, DC. You're not onto something. You know, I feel like someone just needs to listen, Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Take your fucking tinfoil hat off, buddy, and fucking, you're saying basic shit here that we all know. It's like, I'm onto it, dude. The refs were out to get him. No. Like, I don't mind any of the takes. I don't mind Jamahal Hill saying, I don't even think he has said this yet, but he probably thinks it, as DC just said. I'm sure he's spoken to Jamahal Hill himself. I don't mind Jamahal Hill thinking, yeah, I lost focus when they did the groin shot thing, and I tried to just plant and throw when they resumed the fight, not thinking about foot position, and I paid the price. I don't mind Jamahal Hill saying that. It's why he got KO'd. You know what I mean? But that's on Jamahal Hill. What I don't like is the referees ruined this fight. It was I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist here, but come on, Herb Dean. Like, Herb Dean did nothing wrong. Pereira did nothing wrong. The only person who did something wrong to make that happen was Jamahal Hill by going low with the body kick and hitting Pereira on the cup. And I don't know why we're making excuses for Hill. He's took the loss. I'm sure he thinks, and I think it as well, he might have lost focus, but that's the game. Pereira didn't, and he's the one who got groin shotted. He didn't lose focus, and now he's the winner. You know what I mean? That's the game. What we're using lost focus as an excuse, that Usman just lost focus against Edwards. Oh, well, not a real win. Don't want to be a conspiracy theorist here. You know what I mean? No. I know the groin shot came into it, but that's nothing on Herb, nothing on Pereira, and on Hill. So I don't like this excuses they're doing. And I know what it is as well. They're wrestlers that hate to see that the game's been dominated by a guy who has no wrestling background. They fucking despise it. I know they do. Absolutely despise it. Because it's their sport and we're the best fundamental foundation of MMA, wrestling this. And now we're seeing a lot of wrestlers looking at you, Budka, all this credentials, just fucking not being able to inflict damage as they normally, like, this damage-based scoring now. We're seeing a shift a little bit, right? Where you got to be the striker. The kickboxers are doing well. They're not getting exposed in their debut. Maybe a bad look on the grapplers in MMA, but I know certain people don't like it. I know that DC and Chael Sonnen don't like it. But I want to end this video with Jamahal Hill took the loss, gave a my bad speech on social media, like, I'll be back, you know, I dared to be great, I put myself out there. Fair play. Immediately gets back in there against a dangerous up-and-comer on a pay-per-view coming soon, McGregor's card. Who's handled a loss better than this? Everyone's making excuses for him. I understand. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip. See you later. Goodbye.